The value for an Ansaldo Poggi viola in this kind of condition would be more like $300,000.
Okay. Okay.
A guitar signed by 150 musical legends, gathered across 16 years on the road, a left-handed Fender from the dawn of electric music, possibly the first of its kind, and a hand-built prototype carved in a California garage by a future icon of American guitar design.
I was taking lessons when I was a student in high school. My parents talked to my music teacher who had been in Italy, and he mentioned a place in Bologna, possibly knew of Poggi, the manufacturer, the maker of it. This instrument then became my instrument all through high school and college.
Made in Bologna in 1967, this viola represents the culmination of a lifelong pursuit of precision. Ansaldo Poggi trained under Giuseppe Fiorini, heir to the remnants of Antonio Stradivari's workshop, absorbing classical Cremonese principles before refining them with modern acoustical insight. Poggi was obsessive in his selection of materials, choosing only flawlessly flamed maple and straight-grained spruce, unified across body, scroll, and peg box. His instruments were so exacting that he later destroyed or rebuilt earlier works that failed to meet his evolving standards. Of the nearly 400 instruments Poggi produced, only 41 were violas, making this example not only rare, but an exceptional survivor of uncompromising craftsmanship.
The value for an Ansaldo Poggi viola in this kind of condition would be more like $300,000.
Okay. Okay.
From the disciplined silence of an Italian workshop, we turn to the open road, where music history was gathered not by a maker's hand, but by devotion and time.
And here we have this guitar, 150 signatures of some of the biggest names in music, everyone from Johnny Cash to Johnny Winter. And it took you 16 years to accrue these.
There was no real rhyme or reason. People I appreciated and had them signed for that.
This guitar is not defined by its maker, but by its journey. Over 16 years, its owner carried it from venue to venue, carving space into the wood itself to make room for names that shaped American music. Jazz innovators, folk revivalists, blues legends, country pioneers, and rock icons all converge on a single surface, united not by genre, but by presence. Each signature marks a personal encounter, moments spent waiting in snow, backstage conversations, brief human connections with artists now woven into cultural memory. Individually, these autographs vary in rarity. Together, they form a living archive of 20th century music, preserved not in paper, but in wood and time.
Right.
So looking at all of this, I would put an auction estimate of the guitar for about $4,000 to $6,000.
Wow. Thank you.
As music history collects itself in ink and memory, innovation takes form in wood and wire, where design quietly changes the sound of the modern world.
It was my dad's, and he left it to me when he passed away. He bought it new, he ordered it from Fender. He was playing it until he was 95, so.
Dated November 8th, 1951, this left-handed Fender emerges from the earliest chapter of solid-body electric guitars. Built by Tadeo Gomez, whose initials remain hidden beneath the neck, it predates most known examples of its kind. At a time when left-handed instruments were rarely produced, this guitar carries original slotted screws, early hardware, and a configuration abandoned within a few years. Its worn finish tells a story of endurance rather than preservation, played for decades across dance halls and local stages. Surviving intact despite heavy use, it stands as both an engineering milestone and a deeply personal tool, shaped equally by factory innovation and a lifetime of music.
Given the condition, missing its case, I'd value this at $30,000 to $35,000.
Wow.
Not all breakthroughs emerge from factories. Some are born in garages, guided by friendship, risk, and imagination.
It was in the early 80s. I was going through Tulsa, and it was about the same time that Boatwright was killed in Los Angeles. And I felt like I just had to have this guitar. And I traded a beautiful Gibson Birdland. Sammy Mosley and Boatwright were both personal friends of mine.
This guitar traces its origins to Bakersfield, California, where Semmy Mosley and Ray Boatwright laid the foundations of Mosrite not in a factory, but in a garage. Hand-chambered and sealed with a screwed-on metal back, the instrument was an experiment, an attempt to shape tone through unconventional construction. Inside, Mosley's handwritten signature and date remain visible, preserving the moment of creation. Designed as a prototype rather than a finished product, it reveals the restless curiosity of a young builder who would later influence generations of musicians. What could have been discarded instead survived as a singular expression of American instrument-making ingenuity.
Trying to put a value on a guitar like this, if you were just going to sell it to a dealer or a Mosrite aficionado, retail $15,000, maybe more, but it's so unique that if it were in a different environment, who knows? And that's why I love seeing it.
As experimentation gives way to refinement, one design achieves balance, bridging tradition and modernity in a single form.
Well, I traded a 1939 Chevrolet for it in 1971, and the guy I traded off of said he bought it in California when it was new, I'm assuming. I've always played rock and roll and country and western with it.
Introduced in 1958, the Gibson ES-335 redefined what an electric guitar could be. Combining a solid center block with hollow wings, it solved feedback issues while preserving warmth and resonance. This 1964 example reflects the model's maturity. Maple body, rosewood fingerboard, and refined electronics that suited nearly any musical style. Adopted by players across blues, rock, and jazz, its versatility made it a universal instrument rather than a niche tool. Though later associated with legendary performers, its true legacy lies in everyday use, night after night, shaping sound in dance halls, clubs, and small stages where music lived before it was canonized.
Well, today this guitar at a retail price would be $12,000 to $12,500.